Hello everyone, it's me from the future when I'm already finished with like 99 or 95% of the video. I just want to say I put a lot of work into this video and I experimented a lot, especially like with voice, and I did some things with paint in there as well. Just when you're finished with the video, maybe take a minute, go down to the comment section and comment what you like, what you didn't like, especially what you didn't like, and don't put sugar on it. Just be honest, I want to improve and I would like your feedback. Thank you very much. Now go enjoy the video.
Here you can see a picture of my final setup. Since my setup is kind of messy and there's so much other crap on the table, I prepared some highly professional paintings. Like my drawing? Well, you better do, because it took me way too long to finish this masterpiece. But jokes aside, let's actually talk about the setup. On the left side you can see a round bottom flask standing on top of a heating plate. One joint from the round bottom flask is connected to an addition funnel, the other leads to the air condenser in the middle. The first thing I do is to open the joint above the air condenser and put a funnel in it. I then continue to fill 75.8 grams of potassium nitrate into the round bottom flask. This is then followed up by 71.4 grams of copper metal. I decided to use really fine copper dust in order to speed up the reaction. Since the copper is so fine, some dust rises back to the top and gets the air condenser as well as the joints dirty. I don't mind the dust in the condenser, but I have to clean the joint before I close it in order to not ruin my glassware.
I also decided to add some water in the round bottom flask in order to dissolve the potassium nitrate. Unfortunately, I don't have any footage of this, but I also add a stir bar into the round bottom flask. I then took 437 milliliters of 25% hydrochloric acid and I put it into the addition funnel on the left side in order to control the speed of the reaction. Then I move to the right side of my setup, where all that really needs to be done is to prepare a solution of 42.1 grams of potassium hydroxide and water and add it into a gas wash bottle. Now we have our final setup and we're basically ready to start the reaction. In order to actually start a reaction, all I need to do is to turn on the heat and the stirring and let some hydrochloric acid flow into the round bottom flask. When we start heating the mixture, it's important to note that we don't actually want to boil the mixture. Instead, we just want to heat it in order to accelerate the reaction and drive the nitric oxide out of solution. As soon as I start with the addition of the hydrochloric acid, I also need to turn on this air pump, which purpose I will explain later in this video. Now let's take a look what's actually happening in our round bottom flask at the left hand side. The first thing that's happening is that the hydrochloric acid and the potassium nitrate form an equilibrium to produce nitric acid and potassium chloride. This weak nitric acid then reacts with the copper metal to form copper nitrate, nitric oxide and water. Especially the nitric oxide is important for our reaction, and it leaves the solution as a clear gas. However, the reaction in the round bottom flask is not finished at that point. The copper nitrate can still react to form even more nitric acid as well as copper chloride. This explains why the solution ends up having this green, almost black color to it. Let's now take a closer look at the nitric oxide. The nitric oxide travels through the air condenser until it reaches the vacuum takeoff adapter at the end. The outlet of the vacuum takeoff adapter is connected to a hose which leads to the air pump from earlier. The nitric oxide then reacts with the freshly pumped in oxygen to form nitrous oxide. Unlike the nitric oxide, nitrous oxide or nitrogen dioxide actually has a color and is deeply brown. Therefore, it's easily visible inside the glassware. Now we take a look what's happening in the gas washing bottle. Basically all that's happening here is that the nitrous oxide is being bubbled through the potassium hydroxide solution. When nitrous oxide is bubbled through a solution of potassium hydroxide, it can react to form potassium nitrate and potassium nitrite as well as some water. And there we have it, our desired nitrite ion. A really easy way to check if the reaction was successful is to take some of the solution with the potassium nitrite and add some hydrochloric acid to it. If there's in fact any potassium nitrite in solution, then we should be able to see the formation of a brown gas. This brown gas, of course, is nitrous oxide. In case you should ever try to replicate this experiment, please be careful not to inhale any of it. Well, the video is now over, so goodbye everyone, have a nice day, and by the way, did I mention how loud the pump was?